Welcome to the RNA Outdoors podcast, fueled by Ripcord Arrow Rest and First Light Hunting Apparel. At RNA, we are public land DIY conservationists that love to share our passion for the outdoors. So join us and our team as we interview professionals in the industry to share insight knowledge that helps make hunters and anglers more successful. Hey listeners, subscribers, and fellow outdoorsmen and women. This is your host, Lucas Paw, and I'm excited to tell you about some of the sponsors that continue to help make this podcast not only happen, but grow and thrive in this digital world of audio content. This podcast is brought to you by Ripcord Arrow Rest, the bow hunter's #1 fall-away rest on the market. Ripcord is known for 100% full-time arrow containment and their patented drop-dead brake system that eliminates launcher bounce back. Best of all, Ripcord is backed by their rock-solid guarantee. If the original owner has a part break for any reason, it will be repaired or replaced at no charge. And did I mention? Ripcord is located in southwest Montana, where all their products are made with pride in America. Check them out at ripcordarrowrest.com and on their social media feeds. This podcast is brought to you by First Light Clothing and Hunting Apparel. Born in the Rockies in central Idaho, First Light's mission is to create simple, yet proven, versatile gear that provides comfort and performance in any situation while working to promote the pursuit of ethical hunting and stewardship. I recently joined the First Light Pro staff team and have continued to be impressed year after year in their innovations in engineering of merino wool fabrics. 10 years ago, they started putting out wool fabrics with camo patterns, and immediately this changed the game. Since then, they offer multiple layering systems and kits in various proprietary patterns and continue to raise the bar with their competition. Find them online at firstlight.com or under their social media feeds. Go farther, stay longer.
I don't think a guy could go wrong with Chris Stapleton, could he?
Chris.
Nobody to blame but me. Come on, Wyatt, sing.
Crank it up.
He's just laughing, smiling back there.
No way. He's cranking on. Nobody to blame.
So we're ripping up the highway. I got the better half of the Quick family here. I think, is this the better half or the other half?
We better say the other half, because if the other half is listening, we could be in trouble.
That could be a problem. Yeah, so we are en route to Northern California. We got a few tags in the truck right now. And, yeah, we're just, we're cruising. It's been a while. We haven't done podcasts lately, so I gotta introduce the illustrious sidekick.
Boom, boom, boom.
The one and the only. You want to introduce him? You want to introduce your dad?
My dad?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the sidekick.
That's true. He is the illustrious sidekick.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm getting the rough end of the stick on this cob.
The one and done and only Mr. Jason Quick.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am here, present and counted for, and flying down the highway.
Careful.
Get out of my way, people.
Speeding.
Yeah, I know.
And then in the back seat, we've got someone who's got a deer tag this weekend.
Yeah, B-Zone.
B-Zone deer tag. W. You been on the podcast before?
Yeah, Africa.
That's right, Africa. Ooh.
Yeah.
We got to do that again.
Good times in Africa. So we got Wyatt Quick here in the truck, and
Hello.
his dad, Jason, and myself. We are rolling up to deer camp, which is Northern California. So we just got done eating, and we're back on the road, and thought we'd throw on the headsets and talk a little bit about, I don't know, some of the stuff we've done this year, what we got planned this weekend. Got a lot of stuff's been hitting the dirt. A lot of our friends have been hunting and knocking some stuff down. We got to give some props to some of the elk hunters out there, right?
Yeah,
Two
no
elk
doubt.
hunters. our buddy Derek Franklin hammered down and shot a good Thule bull with his once-in-a-lifetime tag that he drew. Well, I say once-in-a-lifetime. Good
He's
luck
lucky.
drawing it again, but yeah.
He's lucky. Not counting that he shot an antelope, too, in California. What the heck?
All in the same year. And then your friend went and
Mark Lauer,
yeah.
He put a smack down on a big old Thule bull. That was beautiful animal.
Yeah.
And then, didn't you love that follow-up photograph? What, the next day at the exact same spot, he gets a trail cam photograph of a big 7x7. Didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
I told him to put an ear tag in it for Dad, so hopefully Dad will draw a tag next year and we'll be able to go chase him down.
You got to love it. I mean, this time of year, these bulls, they breed, they break off. I mean, you don't see them, sometimes you won't even see them the whole year, So, yeah, so there's been some awesome hunting going on this year.
Oh, did you mention Tom?
Yeah, so our good buddy Tom shot a good bull earlier in July 30th. So waited the 60-day dry period, which was September 30th, and had him rescored, and should be pending if he does actually submit the head, would be the new world record. So, but I don't know where he stands with that. I think
doesn't really care, maybe.
No, he doesn't really care. He wants to, but he doesn't want to. Because when he asked me what happens when I do this, I said, well, Cabela's will want a model of it. Rocky Mountain Elk will want one. Probably Eastman's will want to take it on the road with them. So, yeah, just get ready for all that. And he's like, nah, I don't think that's what I want to do. But
sucker.
Anyway.
I mean, that was a beautiful triple brow.
Yeah, that was a great bull.
Crazy Thule bull.
Yeah, so we're just kind of settling in. We're going to be heading up to Northern California here and in the B zone, south end of the Trinities, Mendocino County. Jason and I were fortunate enough to party in on a couple archery A zone or B zone late archery tags in the rut. It's the A80, which most know as the kind of the coveted Covelo tag. So this will be probably one of our better opportunities. I would say, I know probably the best opportunity I've had in my lifetime to shoot a really good blacktail. And Jason, you grew up in this kind of this blacktail country, north of there, so you've got a little bit of context to what the topography's like and kind of what to expect up there.
Yeah, the elevation's not super high in this area, and geographically, it's one of the premium areas to truly kill a true blacktail. It's basically west of the I-5, so they consider it no crosses in that area. And that area produces some fantastic bucks. I mean, a lot of the biggest bucks, blacktail bucks, have been killed out of there. And not very many people ever get to hunt it unless you buy a private land management tag.
Sure.
You don't get to hunt it except for during the regular general season, unless you draw one of either the muzzleloader tag or the archery tag, which I think there's only, 35 of each of those?
35 tags.
So, but what's really kind of crazy about this is because of how the calendar has fallen this year, it's like a week later in the season. So this is the very last weekend of General B Zone.
Yep.
And of course, we've been kind of planning to go up on this weekend, kind of thinking, oh man, we're gonna have a weather snap, and it's gonna be cold and blah blah blah. Let's see. What was the peak of the temperature on the drive up here, boys?
I think it was in Salinas. Was it not 96 degrees?
96 friggin' degrees.
Going through Salinas, where normally Salinas is a pretty cool area, throughout most of the time of the year. But yeah, so we've got some just out of the ordinary, not of the average weather going on right now. I think this week it's been in the 90s, and a couple days it's supposed to be in the mid to high 90s tomorrow as well.
And our great power company, PG&E, has been sued so many times because of creating fires in California that they're talking about turning our power off where you don't have any power.
Yeah, so they just shut it down.
Yeah, don't worry. Your freezers will be fine for a few days. We'll just turn your power off for a while.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. So hopefully that doesn't happen while we're gone, although there's been talk of that. But, Yeah, so I mean the weather pattern clearly is not in our favor. At the same time, like you said, there is about a 20-degree snap that happens this coming Sunday. So hard to say what what can transpire based on 20-degree temperature change and then close to a 30-degree temperature change in the evening. So I think it's supposed to get down into the 30s. So
that could really trigger something. And we also know, because of it being so warm, that the deer are going to be running probably at night, and they'll be going all the way down to most likely the river, or at least some of the tributaries. So we'll try to figure out where the crossovers are and the little saddles cutting back and forth, and hopefully try to learn some of the topography. Right now my good friend Rick from A to Z Foundation is actually in Nevada chasing big old muleys, and then he's going to run to Colorado after that for his veterans hunts that they put on. But what we're going to hopefully do is, as soon as the Nevada season is over and then he runs to Colorado and finishes Colorado, then he'll come back and he's going to come up and kind of help us out. He's got a ranch up there, and we've got some access to place to stay, and
it's going to make it
kind of
very
a guy
convenient.
that's kind of the guy you love to know, that's hunted there for 20 plus years and knows the topography way better than we do. In fact, when we were talking to him, I loved it. He's like, oh yeah, well, you kind of go here and you kind of do this, Quickster, you go over there. And I was thinking, okay, I have no idea what he's talking about. So we're going to try to figure that out. Yeah. Hopefully the next couple of days.
Yeah. So basically all this started for you and I, back in, July in the California draw system. We applied as a party, and we ended up drawing. A couple weeks later, we find out we draw, and so that obviously starts the whole process for you and I, which is getting information, contacting license application services, trying to find guys that have drawn the tag in the past, and come to find out, when you start talking about this tag, you find out how many people have a little intel on this area, which not a lot of people do, but the people that have hunted it have all said this area holds some of the biggest blacktails in the state, and it's just because it's managed. It's a unit that's managed, and because of that, it allows for good genetics and growth of these bucks. So anyway, kind of fast forward, we were able to catch up with your friend Rick, and he provided us some information, and we've been kind of crunching Onyx and working on Google Earth and trying to figure out where we wanted to be, and we chose this weekend for a couple reasons. One, because it gives us a little bit of a window in time to get up here and scout a little bit, which is kind of important for us for our archery hunt. But also, we got W in the back, who's got a B-zone tag, and it's the last weekend. So little killer in the back there thinks he's going to shoot a big buck this weekend, but I don't know how he's going to do that without our help.
Yeah, Wyatt, what's up with that?
Well, I have help, so.
Oh, who's that?
You guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what do you expect us to do?
Oh, you guys are going to find deer, like always.
Okay.
You're too interested not to look for deer. Okay. It doesn't matter.
That's interesting.
You're up there.
So what's your role this weekend? Like, what is it you have to do?
Well, I'm a help. Look. But my main goal is to kill deer.
Squeeze the trigger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing wrong
Just
with
remember that.
I did see him earlier in the rearview mirror, and he was flexing his index finger.
Okay.
In, out.
You have
in,
one roll
out,
this weekend,
in,
and that's.
I mean, not like he doesn't do that plenty enough. I will tell you, though, his competition shotgun trigger is a little different than the trigger on the close range gun, huh, son?
A lot.
Yeah, it's probably night and day difference.
Took him about 12 dry fires to go, okay, I didn't flinch. Why doesn't this thing go off when it's supposed to?
But not only that, we're, being in the Trinity area, the south end of the Trinities, there's a whole lot of other animals that hang around in the Trinities.
Are you going to talk about your $5 bear tag?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
And this isn't a raffle tag either, so unfortunately.
And why did we have to detour? What was the reasoning again?
Yeah, so for some reason I couldn't find my bear tag, which I know that I purchased, because when I went online it showed that I couldn't purchase another one, but I couldn't seem to find it. So anyway, we stopped on the way up at Big Five, and I had to buy my additional $5 replacement tag on top of the $48 price of the tag as it was. So anyway, I may have 2 bear tags, but I can only harvest 1, but I'm legal, so
Now,
at least I have a tag.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that just so everybody understands, in California, there's a harvest limit, and there's a mandatory showing of your bear skull to Fish and Game.
Correct.
And you had said how many had been harvested already?
Yeah, so there had been, I think, 740 harvested up into this point. Season opens mid-August, and archery goes for a month, and then the general opens in September. And California puts a quota on 1,700. It's mandatory reporting. So if you take a bear, you're required from the time that you have it validated. I think you have up to, 7 days to report it. And then to your point, you have to have the skin and also the skull. I believe they pull a molar and age them. And then you're also required to not waste any meat either. So you have to take all salvageable meat on the animal. So
for those guys that like to think about Alaska and whacking and stacking, you do have to pack out the meat, and that does bring to some thoughts when you look in canyons and you find that big old bear down in the bottom, whether or not you truly want to kill one.
Yeah.
But one other point, Wyatt, how much does it cost for a junior bear tag?
How much did you say? 25 bucks?
$25. They just passed a law this last year that lowered the junior cost of a bear tag to only $25. Isn't that mighty nice of the state of California? I guess they weren't selling enough bear tags that they decided to go ahead and give a break to the kids.
Well, and you wonder if part of it too is to try to get more kids involved in getting outdoors, and because they dropped the prices on a lot of tags, right? I mean,
yeah.
I think they slashed prices on elk tags, deer tags, and everything. So it may be partly a ploy to try to get kids more out in the outdoors and trying to get them hunting, or interested in it. Hard to say.
It's a nice thought, but I keep wondering about Fish and Game. But hey, let's not talk about my $3.14, Bobcat tag, which will be the last year. If you wanted a Bobcat tag, you probably should buy one just so you can put it up on your wall, because this last year you're going to be able to hunt bobcats in the state of California.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
Well, thanks, Governor. Appreciate you not knowing and not following science and just on a whim deciding that people shouldn't hunt something.
Yeah, so not to even get on a rant about our predator control problem in this state, but when you already take mountain lions out of the equation, and now you take bobcats out of the equation, which, you got to wonder what's next. Coyotes? I mean, what's next?
Well, and look, we no longer run bears with dogs,
yeah.
So that 1,700 bear quota is never reached anymore. No. I mean, if you're coming to California to go blacktail deer hunting, you need to buy a black bear tag, because in 5 days worth of hunting, you'll have a higher probability of seeing a black bear than a legal buck.
Yeah.
So welcome to California.
Yep. So we got bears, we got mountain lions, now we're going to have bobcats, which, like I say, easily could take down a yearling fawn, or a couple of them, and so it's becoming a problem. It's more of a problem, and to your point, it's not about biology or science; it's about emotion, and that's what these guys sign these bills in effect for. It's not
we
about.
Want to see those pretty little kitties in the wild. Well, no doubt, we want to see them in the wild too, but there's no scientific data to support any of their decisions they've done. This is all a knee-jerk reaction to the anti-hunting, anti-animal rights groups, that they're just frustrates me.
People eating tasty animals.
Yum. That's what we're working on. Anyway, okay, back on topic. So it's 8 p.m.
Yes.
It's dark right now.
Yeah.
And we still got another 3 hours of driving to get to where we want to be.
Yep.
But at least now there's no traffic. So we're cruising to get to the mountains, and so we'll be set up. So
we kind of know where we want to be. We got some pretty good intel on some good areas to be at first light and glassing. So our intent is to get somewhere remotely close, probably not right in the spot we want to be in the morning, but somewhere remotely close. Set up just I wouldn't say a camp, but just a place to lay our head for the night. And then tomorrow will be Friday, which should be somewhat of a better opportunity than the weekend, although it is the last weekend in the B zone. It's still for most a work day tomorrow, so hopefully we can maybe get ahead of some of the rush tomorrow. And I don't know, my hope is that we're going to kind of scout this one area that we've got a lot of intel on. Some good bucks have been taken out of this area. We'll kind of focus there maybe in the morning, see what we see if we can't find a good legal buck for Wyatt, and if not, we'll motor, and we got a lot of places to check. I mean, this area is big. When you think about it, kind of from north to south, even east to west, there's a lot of country there, and part of this hunt, based on your conversation or your discussion about the calendar shift change a week later, this can become a migrational hunt too, where if there is
Absolutely.
weather up top, it could force some of these deer down into the lower elevations, down into a lot of the private areas, but there's a lot of checkerboarded areas and public areas and forest in those areas too, which can have those deer held up there as well. So so we'll see what happens with weather.
One thing that I'm curious to see right now too is, right now we've got this really hot streak going on right now, but just a week ago it was pretty cool. And what I've seen even in our area is the oak trees are losing their leaves.
Yeah.
So what I'm really hoping is that we are seeing some of that already happening, where the potential glassing is going to be a little easier and a little better. But then the transition in between this weekend and when we come back in 2-3 weeks, to how does that play out? And it really will be nice if we could actually get a little bit of weather in between now and then. But who knows? I mean,
yeah.
Mother Nature is Mother Nature, and sometimes she doesn't play by the same rules we like her to.
Yeah, so it'll be, weather's always a wild card in any hunt. There's a lot of good hunts in this state that, pending the weather hits, some of the late season tags that some of the special the G hunts and so forth, a lot of those are migrational hunts that rely solely on weather up high, which pushes a lot of the deer down. So we'll see, and I'm not going to hang my hat on that. I think that would be what we would consider maybe gravy on top of the mashed potatoes if that happens and we get good weather. But there's still going to be pockets of good bucks. And one of the guys I was talking to said the year he had the tag, weather was terrible. It was warm, and he still ended up getting a pretty nice deer and saw, he said, some serious bombers during the course of that hunt. And even Rick told us, he goes, you're going to see a 160 class blacktail on your hunt at some point, right, or bigger. Now, are you going to be able to hunt it? Are you going to be able to get him killed? That's always the goal, but he says you will see a big buck on this hunt.
Well, and what's going to be really different about this too is a lot of this country that we're going to be seeing is big. We're going to be going, in the morning, we're going to try to be on the east side, glassing towards the west, and these big openings, and trying to find something. Just because you find it, this weekend, the positive note is we have a long-range gun, and we have a kid that can shoot decently. Notice I said decently, Wyatt?
Decently.
Come on,
yeah.
you didn't even
Only
respond
decent?
to that.
Yeah, we're just
Only decent?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you could shoot things at
We'll say subpar.
subpar, maybe. Okay, but
Work on that index finger.
yeah, stretch it out. But when it comes to the archery, we may be able to find these animals, right? But literally, they may be 1,000 yards away.
Yeah.
An archery run on that is way different than being able to find something and cut the distance to 500-600 yards.
Yeah.
So.
And that's always a challenge. I mean, this is an archery tag that you and I have. So but it's a rut hunt. So that's plays a little bit of our advantage based on the timing. But there's no guarantees. It's like any hunt. There's no guarantees. There's probably a guarantee we're probably going to see some good bucks, but they could be sitting on private property. And there's not a dang thing, unless we unless we know them or we go knock on the door, we're not going to be able to do much with that. So
Wyatt, how did we do shooting archery this last Tuesday?
We all shot pretty good.
And we were all in the zone. I thought we did pretty doggone good.
the old Halon was throwing darts, though.
Oh man, love that bow. Love that bow.
Throwing darts.
Yeah, we went out on Tuesday to the archery range and stretched them out to 70 yards, and we were able to get serious and put some pretty good groups way out there, and hope that we slip right in on them and shoot them at 30 yards. But we're prepared for that 70-yard shot if we have to.
Yeah, if it's a good buck and he's at 70, at least there's some confidence knowing that we can make that shot. But you're right. I mean, 30 and in is the window you want to be in for sure. Less margin for error, but
well, a lot of this stuff too, depending on what we're thinking it's going to be a full-blown rut hunt, right? So as long as we don't blow the girl out, he's going to be thinking, and if we can get in between him and her, that might even be better.
Yeah. Which I think is going to be key to this hunt as well, is looking for does, right? I think if we can spot does first thing in the morning or catch does moving transitionally, that's a pretty good probability there's going to be a buck with those does at some point.
And that's one thing that I'm looking for on this weekend too. Okay, looking for, where's the pockets at? If we could find groups of does that are always working, maybe 2-3 days that we're up here, if we could catch them in the same places over and over again, that'll be a telltale sign, in 3 weeks to keep your eyes open and really pay attention to those exact spots, 3 weeks from now.
Sure. So how you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
You feeling great?
I'm ready for tomorrow.
You ready for tomorrow?
Yeah.
What's going through your mind tomorrow? Like, wake up and we're just going to find this 25-inch 3x4 and you're just going to shoot it, or what? Like, what's going through your mind?
Well, I'm ready for anything.
Okay. Do you got like a benchmark you're looking for?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever you guys tell me to shoot, I'll shoot.
You guys have you've shot a pretty good blacktail before, so.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that you shoot one so big that you're not going to find another one to top it. And I say, I bet I could find another one to top it. So that's the goal. You got to find another one to top it.
Who taught him that?
His father.
I'm bowing out from this conversation.
You have created a monster.
Well, you can't kill a big one to shoot a small one. So, but we're his was a true 4x4.
Yeah.
So you can't blame a kid for shooting a blacktail like that, man.
Beautiful deer.
That was a story and a half. We talked about that in one of the previous podcasts. Him shooting a 4x4 in basically the same place as I shot one just 30 years later.
Yeah.
Within 100 yards, where he saw it and killed it. It was basically within 100 yards of where I killed mine when I was a kid. So, that's pretty awesome. But hopefully, like you said, the genetics are here where we're going. So, half the battle is figuring out where the genetics are and how to find a way to get to hunt that area at the right time of year.
Yeah.
Not saying that, this is ideal, because we kind of planned this weekend a while ago thinking, it's further into October, higher probability of, being cold. And like I said, well, it's dropped down to a whopping 68 right now. That's not freaking very cold.
No. But when you picked me up today, I mean, I was sweating throwing the cooler in the back of the truck. I mean, I was driving home and it was in the 90s already. It's just I mean, to be a week out of November and having weather like this, I think it's beyond Indian summer, because it got pretty cool for quite a while. I thought, the summer was pretty well gone, but at the same time, would you rather have weather like that, or would you rather have weather where you're bundling up and...
Well, this weather has been weird. Thank God I had Wyatt loading the truck for me, so I didn't have to,
You didn't have to break a sweat.
Yeah. Well,
God
that's
forbid.
the goal,
More
right?
like hurt his back again.
God forbid. Oh yeah, we wouldn't want Prince to hurt his back, would we, Wyatt?
No, that's not
You guys-
supposed to happen.
You guys smack talk a lot. You got a few more years before you get to be burned out. But
I have more than a few.
I can't talk much. Lucas comes back from the moose hunt, and he looks like he's been beat with a rubber hose.
Oh my God, 174 pounds. I've gained about 6 or 7 of that back. So
Lean, mean fighting machine.
then I went elk hunting, and I lost a little more weight, and came back from that. So.
Well, what did I tell you when you sent me the picture at 35 yards? Oh, I passed. Shoot him. Shoot him, man. Just shoot him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, when a bull crosses you at 35 and you're like, nah, but then in the back of your mind it says, if he comes back to the same exact spot again, he's done. And 2 minutes later, what does he do? He walks right back in that same window and stops. So
I'm telling you, when they stop, it's just, I don't know what happens. It just, the instinctual relaxing of the trigger finger muscle, and
yeah, he got the arrow right through the heart, both lungs. So yeah, it's been a crazy fall. I mean, I think for a lot of people, it's been pretty crazy for me. It's been pretty successful. A lot of neat adventures we've had, and we've got a couple more ahead of us. I think are going to be fun, and I've still got another deer tag in Montana that I'm going to try to get home to fill over Thanksgiving with the family, and I've got a friend, a great friend that I told him 3 years ago. I said, "You live in Nevada?" He goes, "Yeah." "And you don't apply for deer, sheep, elk?" He goes, "No, I haven't even thought about it." I'm like, "Okay, let me help you out." So I help him out. And what does he do on year 3? He draws a desert sheep tag.
Unbelievable. That's just not fair. For a guy that's been flying 21 years,
yeah,
that's just not fair.
Yeah.
Of course, and he is a resident.
He's a resident. He's a great guy. So.
And then my friend Wayne, he draws an 081 late mule deer tag.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only 5 of them. Hello.
Yeah.
I put Dad in for that one, of course. We don't have it, but he does. But that's going to be a great resource if we could ever get him on the podcast and talk about that hunt, after he gets done.
That's a great area.
And then, who knows, if one of us ever draw that, then we've got great intel and resources available to us.
That's what it's all about, right?
It's phenomenal, man. I mean, the hunting community is such a great group of people that, when you draw a tag where there's only 5, I mean, come on.
5 hunters.
Call us. My brother has helped out 2 guys up in the northwestern elk hunt area, and they just drew cow tags this year, which he's like, this sucks so bad. He's like, every time, hey, there's a bull. Hey, there's another bull.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, we're not looking for bulls. We're just looking for cows. But these guys, put some meat on the ground.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun,
Well,
he
it's
said.
like some of your deer hunts. You're in like some of the most primo elk country, right? On some of these Nevada deer hunts, and you got all these bulls. You're like, okay, focus. I can't look at elk. But like, oh, I got to look at that bull.
Man, I was right back. My daughter had that 111 tag again this year, and she just shot a little small 3-point. But while we were there, I'm like, oh, there's a bull. She's like, we're not elk hunting, Dad. Focus. Focus on deer. I'm like, okay. Oh, there's another bull. Oh, look at those 2 bulls fighting. That's awesome,
Yeah.
I don't know. She hasn't hunted you with you enough. If there's any animal out there, he'll find it, and then he'll stare at it for 30 minutes and then realize he's not hunting it.
Unless he has a tag.
Yeah.
Because I will tell you, when we were on his Goodale hunt, I was sitting there looking at all these desert sheep, and he's like, focus. He's like, okay, well, where are they at? And he'd look for like maybe a minute, then he'd go back, okay, there's a buck over here now. I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting here focused on these sheep. He's like, I'm like, oh, there's another ram. Where? Just up. So he'd look, and so he does get easily distracted, but I will say he does get focused on what he's trying to go after.
Man,
That is true.
He's not
so
too much of a
hard.
squirrel that we think he is.
Oh, but man, yeah. When I was back there, man, I saw a huge 5x5. I think it was the same bull, one of the same bulls I saw last year, but he was even bigger this year. And then I did see 2 nice 6-point bulls and they were fighting when I found them. That was just absolutely awesome. Sorry, we digress off of blacktail deer hunting, and focus. But hey, look, we've got a bear tag, we got a deer tag, we got multiple pig tags, even though since we live in Pig Central, we're probably not going to shoot a pig.
Even if we saw one.
Well, if he runs across the road and he's on the uphill side,
if he's got teeth, he's going down.
Okay, if he's got teeth. Okay, that changed category. Well, I'd like him still to be on the uphill side,
Yeah. If he's got teeth, he's 250 or better, so we'll just throw him on my back and we'll take him out.
Yeah, well, see, Wyatt, that's the reason we take Lucas with us.
If Wyatt shoots a deer, it's on him. He's got to clean it, skin it, gut it, quarter it.
Yep.
You got to do it all.
All those girls on Instagram will be like, "Ooh,
yeah, we'll be Snapchatting all those girls. Look at this guy. He's got blood on his hands."
Oh.
They may not like you after that.
May not. They probably won't. They probably already don't like me, but.
No, I think they do. They just probably get sick of you taking all those pictures, all the food you're eating all the time.
Oh, maybe.
That was a serious deep dish.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, that was serious.
I'm ready for bed.
If you guys all go to sleep on me, I'm going to be pissed.
No
promises.
We won't go to sleep on you. But
no promises.
Although the back seat has gotten a little quiet back there.
Oh, man, ain't that the truth?
I haven't slept this whole way. I haven't heard you guys complain yet, so.
No, we're not complaining, but you know what happens when you complain. Does anyone really listen?
No.
So.
And don't forget, Wyatt, even if you fall asleep, when we get there, I want my damn pillow back.
No promises.
Yeah, just like him.
So you figure we got at least another, couple hours left to get up to where we need to be?
2.5 at a very minimum, probably 3. Depends on if there's any traffic, but it's 8:18, so, folks.
There really shouldn't be any traffic, though, right? I mean,
shouldn't be.
Realistically.
But this is also California, so you say there's no traffic, and then they'll have road construction that closes down 6 lanes, both directions, and funnels everything into one.
Yeah, on these beautiful roads we have, too.
God, they don't even spend the gas tax money on it.
I know.
Let's just put that in the general fund. Oh.
Is it time?
I think it might be that time. Till the next time, folks. Hopefully the next podcast, Wyatt will be telling you about a big old buck that he shot.
You ready to kill a buck?
Yeah.
This weekend?
Are you ready to kill a bear?
I want you to shoot a buck. I'll kill a bear.
I'll shoot a buck.
I'm not worried about a bear.
I guess that means I'm stuck with the damn 250-pound pig with teeth.
Hey, we're equal opportunity hunters here.
Whack 'em, stack 'em, put 'em on the ground. And we're coming back to you real soon from the highway.
61. Wait.
See it.
39.
39.
26. 14.
13.
All right. Wyatt, peace.
Peace out, people. Rock and roll. That's our type of love.
Hey everyone, this is Lucas Paw, host of the RNA Outdoors podcast. Please check out Podbean and iTunes. If you have an iPhone or iPad, go to the podcast app on your device, search for RNA Outdoors, and hit the purple subscribe button. When doing this, it will automatically upload when new podcasts are loaded, and they will download into your queue. For Android users, you can access the podcast through Podbean, Stitcher, or use our website, www.rnaoutdoors.com/podcast. In addition, under the RNA Outdoors podcast channel, please leave a review and a 5-star rating. These reviews help boost our popularity and outreach. You can also follow us on our social media outlets, Twitter at RNA Outdoors, Facebook, RNA Outdoors, and Instagram, Rod and Arrow Outdoors. All links are in the show notes as well. If you like what you've heard, we hope you'll pass along our channel to your friends and colleagues. Keep up the good fight. We cannot sit by and watch the public lands devoted to wildlife protection wither away. There's simply too much at stake. Make your voice heard, speak up, and get involved with conservation efforts, and know that every little bit helps. As we say on the mountain, go farther, stay longer.